What I'll try to do is go from this way around. We have this room until 7:30. So if you're over here, I will make sure you get identified, but I'm going to go this way around. I will start with this gentleman here.
I'm figuring like we're going backwards. I mean, this is not horse and buggy days anymore, and those lights were put in because it's not horse and buggy days. And the fact that wouldn't it be smarter to actually replace the lights when we have them, or shut the lights off? Replace them instead of shut them off. When we just wait until we get the money, then replace them. Don't shut them off. That's just ridiculous.
Thank you.
I would like to say I have a little trouble having sympathy with the "we can't afford it" call, because I read yesterday that we're painting bicycle lanes from downtown to the Kansas state border. At the same time, in May you announced that you are extending red lights or cameras, traffic light cameras, for another 5 years. That's another source of revenue that could provide some safety, and it kind of makes sense that we use those traffic lights to ensure traffic safety. Those traffic cameras to ensure traffic safety.
Very good point. I agree. What she said was that there are a number of initiatives that have happened from bike lanes. We talked about red light cameras that have been reinstated with a new contract. And she talked about why she doesn't necessarily agree with the fact that you're saying you don't have all this money, but get the lights back on and do it in appropriate pots of funds. And so very good comment. I guess the long and shorter answer of that is that those different things that you've outlined, basically there are different pots of funds that actually pay for those, and there are street maintenance funds that we also pay for as well.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback that. Some of those funds are designated, like you can't use this money for that over there because it's not designated for that. So some of it we can move around though. Thank you for your comments. Okay, next.
Yes.
I'd like to say thank you to Jermaine Reed for really hearing us the other night when we spoke about these lights and bringing us together. I want to thank you publicly.
Thank you.
I'm 47 years old, and I don't understand. All these years, they never bothered the lights. So why y'all bothering the lights?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm wondering, why do you have to change the light? Why do you have to take the light out in the first place? The light is working. It was working there. It's been working there for X amount of years. Why do you have to take the light out now? Those particular lights in our neighborhood that we need for our kids and our old folks to walk. I'm old myself, so I just like to know why you have to take the light out if the light is working. If the light is broken, replace it. That's what should be done. I don't understand.
Very good point. I will allow to answer that. We're going to try to get around and get a number of the questions out in the time frame we have. Yeah, and so we'll come back to your question. Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. As far as we already have a planning process in the city, and we ought to be able to follow that planning process through more than one administration. You all know we've said it over and over again in all these plans. We need to break them out and say what we want in our life. And one of them was not to actually to go against our wishes and come up with this plan. The second thing is all those lights that they say that they've been, those light requests they say they've been ignoring because they don't follow the national motto, do not apply here in Hilly, Kansas City. We have been involved in this community and asking for lights, and we got them the way we want them over years of work because we organized to get it here. All those requests that you keep getting is because you need a light. And they need to stop turning them down and do an overall review of every request that they've gotten before they come back and ask us again in some process, what do we want? We turn in hundreds of them, read them, and come back with an analysis on that before you take our lights out.
Yes, sir.
I just really want to thank you for being here and organizing this, but I really feel compelled to say that, federal guidelines and traffic counts and volume and, all of this sounds good, and federal government probably does suggest that we do follow these mandates. But, you know, public safety and policies that help ensure that our kids and families are safe should not be trumped by any federal guidelines. I mean, federal guidelines are written by people like us in this room, and I know that our city manager and our council and the effective leadership that we have in this city can actually deal with this. I think that we're not going to get consensus on 13 lights when this community, I believe I heard them say, turn them all back on.
Right.
But the reality is there are ways and means that these lights can be triggered so that during school hours,
They're on.
in public safety areas that are designated by this community, they must stay on. They must, it should not be debated.
Right.
It should not be something that we take willy-nilly and are silly.
Right.
When you lose one black kid behind some clown running through the lights,
Right.
That's right.
it's going to be front page news and it's going to be on y'all's hearts. Now, I strongly suggest that the city work to negotiate the best light spots and understand that this community is watching.
That's right.
But we don't want to see somebody lose their lives to make this make sense.
Yeah.
If the federal government doesn't understand that we're, like the man said, in a hilly community
That's right.
with dangerous intersections that could take anybody out, old or young. And the final thing I want to say is just this. At the end of the day, you know, we got to make sure that we do the right thing for the right reason. There are people in my neighborhood who ask the hard question about why they didn't do this in another neighborhood.
All right.
Why they didn't do this in Waldo.
All right.
To North Kansas City
Right.
and turn out a bunch of lights.
That's right.
Now, again, all I'm asking for is a quality light system in my neighborhood, the ghetto.
All right.
I'm just asking for a quality light system that, again, makes sense to us in the neighborhood. We got pastors in here. We got many church leaders who are saying to their congregations they want a quality light system. It's up to the city to manage that.
Thank you. Let's be respectful of everyone's time. Mr. Clark, let's go.
You had Carl Weldon and that lady right there.
I've stated that I'm going to try to go this way, work our way around. We'll try to get back over this way. So, you have comments?
Go ahead, I'll wait. Go ahead.
I'll be very brief. I think the two issues that we're dealing with here, economics and emotions. The economics from the city standpoint, which we can understand because that's what they're being paid for, is to make sure they balance the budget. But at the same time, I think they were very insensitive in how they did this, because not only are these the oldest lights, but this is the blackest community. And it should have been a little more sensitive. Had we seen it happening in other communities, we may have accepted it a little better, knowing that it was a citywide type movement versus just identified in one specific area. The other thing that I want to make specifically is that I'm a horse trader. There's no compromise here. It's that we're going to cut your lights and we're not going to give you anything. I mean, give me something. You know, give me some foot patrol policemen, or like the gentleman said, let's adjust the budget where the lights will cut off at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night and go into flashing, and then they'll come back. Let's try to compromise where we both. It can't be an all or nothing type situation, and we'll try to work with the city, but don't just come to us and say this is the way it's going to be, and then it's after the fact. You know, this should have been discussed ahead of time where we could have got ready for it and prepared ourselves and been more sensitive ourselves toward them. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
I have some comments, and it will open up a tag of nails.
Open it up.
Open it up. Started out.
Open it up.
This year we started out with the lights. A few years ago, we started out with the school district, cutting back and cutting back. We hire superintendents, we fire them and still paying them. And they open up the casinos. All the casinos gonna bring us air conditioning to the school. They gonna get the school books for us and everything.
Where's the money?
We don't have no air conditioning.
No money.
We don't have no schools now in the inner city. But where is the money going from the casino? Because a whole lot of people in the inner city support the casino. Where is our money? Who's investigating some of that money that's supposed to feed into your vote to make them operate in the city? You see it on the news how many millions of dollars they're making. Well, where is it coming to the inner city? The next thing, praise the Lord, we will not have to keep 71 and 70 up for other folks to come in here and work and take that money back to their community. We live here. We need these lights for our conditions, for our families. We pay taxes here. That's right. We pay taxes here. That's right. Think about it, y'all. They done tore down Senate Dam out there, the Bannister Mall. What did you hear on the news last week? They gonna tear down the mall over in North Kansas City at $1 million and rebuild. Where is that money coming from? Is that a part of this city? Is that a part of this city? Am I off track? I'm asking a question, please.
As I stated in the beginning, we're going to take questions, allow individuals to address their concerns, and then we'll come back. So let's get a couple more over here.
I got one.
Try to go there. So yes, sir.
Right. I met you a long time ago when you first went to me. You was down on 12th Street. I said, be a good senator wherever you're running from. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'm seeing here is from the black community. I'm spread all over the Kansas City area. Right in the heart of the city. Out south, 71 Highway, back to Brookside, back to the east. Okay, everything is floating out of the black community. I see our insurance rates are high. Changing the lights and putting stop sign there. You haven't showed us anything on paper where we change our insurance, the policy. Our houses. We've been paying mortgages for years in insurance. It don't go. We got new police cars, except the one on 63rd Street and built the one on 77? Okay, but the crime rate ain't went down. I'm just trying to feel I told you, if you're going to run for office, stand for something. Just don't go for everything. Okay? It's about your community. It's about the people. It ain't a black or white thing, but we make our kids, we should be past that point. My mothers and grandfathers fought a long time before from Mississippi to here to Kansas City, the last city to free slaves. But what I'm saying is this here, the schools are down. Okay, but what I'm saying, sir, I'm not trying to put you down, but what I'm trying to say, you there, we are here, these people sometimes we just sick or tired being tired of just everything. We ride down the street, the lights are changed. They don't stop, they're going to still run the red lights. Okay, but we got officers still, they don't do our area. I'm just saying, it's some good officers and bad officers, but we pay, our money gonna stay here. Okay, North Kansas City, Riverside, you go, they got Tibbles over there now. But like the lady said, they have the boat, but nothing come back into the community. That's right. Where's the money? Okay, I'm out.
Okay, let's be shorter if we can.
It's going to take me a second. Actually, bro, our conversation ain't with them. See that lady back there and that guy holding, that's what we need to be talking about.
All right.
These are the people that set this up. Our conversation back there, you don't need to be writing. You need to be standing here talking to us. Because see, the conversation was 10 lights. Y'all trying to drop 6, like we can't count.
That's right.
And the bad part about it today is street lights. Today is stoplights, tomorrow is streetlights.
That's
when
right.
y'all walking around here with candles, then what? You can't blame nothing on the council when there's other people involved in this.
All right.
See, this is what happens when we don't vote. So don't shake your head if you don't understand. I sit here and listen to this fool. I listen to everybody talk. It ain't about them. Y'all standing there, but they should be standing up here answering questions. You writing down all this stuff, but how much of this stuff are you going to deal with? Because, see, we can talk about what we ain't got, but we don't talk about what we don't have. And what we don't have is unity. That's what we don't have. For this brother to conversate with them right now, this ain't the place or the time. I hear you, but not right now. Right now, we should be talking to them. Those are the ones that's making the decision. Those are the people that came with the 6 lights, and I want to know where the other 4 is, if not all of them.
37. 37, motherfucker.
That's right.
Let's take a couple more comments, and then what we're going to do is allow for Public Works to respond, and then, of course, myself and Councilwoman Curls. Just a couple more comments, and then we will be out of time for this time. So I'm going to start over here. Mel?
I'm Brianna Deselich, and I'm with Kansas City Neighborhood Advisory Council. How many meetings have we had like this? 3, 4. Why are we still having these? That's my question. My other question is why isn't there a moratorium period within a mile and a half of every single school in Kansas City? Don't touch the lights at the school. It only makes sense. All right. Now, my other comment is that an awful lot of where's the money? Where has been the money for updates? We're doing sewer updates. We're doing light updates. What's going on with the way we're managing our money in this city? That's all I have to say.
My comment is that here it seems like we're winding up. I went to a meeting with the 31st Street corridor. Okay, they were talking about redoing the whole 31st 40 highway corridor. They're talking about building the new police station on 27th Street. There's gentrification, of course, in the middle of the country. That's somewhat a slow process. But it scares me that you go from taking out lights, but there's a slow migration of something that's going on in the city, but then yet and still you're taking out lights because you say that the population has dispersed or is not that many people, but yet and still you had a big consulting firm came in and did this whole 31st Street, and they had all these pictures about building stuff that looked like Zona Rosa and looked like out on 119th. I don't understand. It's like people are talking in forked tongues or something.
Okay, I'll do you, and then this gentleman there. We're talking about the stoplights. Last 2 comments.
I have several specific questions about this process and the turning off of the lights. So I wanted to know when the traffic study was conducted, whether it was conducted during the week or on the weekend or during the holiday, how long that study actually lasted that gave you the information for which lights to turn off. So I want specifics about that. I'd also like to know what is it that is going to be done with the money that is saved from not turning off the lights and from not having to update them? And I'd also like to know how the information from this meeting is actually going to be used in making a determination, and how the people here will actually be contacted to receive that information. Because I'm sure most people don't want to sit here and just talk and then feel like nothing was done with it. But I'd really like that specific information about the traffic study that identified those lights that should be turned off. Oh, and the other thing was, I know that at a lot of the stoplights where we have said we wanted the lights back on, you've seen a reduction in traffic accidents, reported traffic accidents. I'd like to know if you have a way of estimating how many of those unreported accidents are actually occurring, because I believe that in the inner city, a lot more people have liability insurance or no insurance at all, and so those may not be as reported as often as traffic accidents in more affluent areas.
Yeah, we don't trust the police, so we don't call them. That's what you get.
Well, they don't come anyway.
And this is our last comment, and then we will respond to several other questions.
I don't know about everybody else, but it's so for y'all to come down here and tell us that we're in the older part of the neighborhood or the city, because we know that. It's not our responsibility to take care of the infrastructure of this city. It's the city's responsibility. We pay our taxes. We don't get a discount from any other part of the city, so we should have infrastructure just like any other part of the city, and traffic lights are infrastructure.
Well,